What are you doing in my house?
My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and today I'll be your computer technician. I have a very close friend whose name is John. I helped him build his current gaming PC back around 2011 or 2012. It used an i5 2500 with 8 gigabytes of RAM on a motherboard with only 2 RAM slots, and it had a GTX 560 graphics card. Not bad for its time, but as time went on and games got more demanding, it couldn't keep up anymore. I had come across some parts myself that would be useful in his build, and eventually I gave him some free upgrades. A 120mm AIO, a new case, an i7-3770 CPU, and 2 8GB sticks of RAM to make 16 gigs total. He then got himself a GTX 1070 and a 1TB SSD. I've actually featured his system multiple times on this channel, and I'll have those videos linked down in the description below. Hooray! His system is relatively powerful again, but then he wanted to try streaming and, games like PUBG, all while using resource-intensive add-ons and plugins to make things fun, and the cracks began to show again. John is a good friend of mine and was a best man at my wedding, the other being his twin brother, Wayne, who I run this channel with, and is behind the camera right now as I speak. Couldn't pick just one, had to pick the pair. Anyways, I have the capability once again to bring John's computer up to speed in a big way. I unfortunately don't have anything on hand that beats his GTX 1070 and the 1TB SSD combo, so I'll be sneaking away his current build to pilfer those parts from. But everything else, it'll be the most powerful system he's ever owned. Real quick, if you're new around here and are into PC hardware, tech, gaming, stream tips, news, and reviews, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload, and maybe hit that like button while you're down there. Now, John is also a first responder and essential worker. This guy puts in the hours and has to deal with some really tough situations. I'd like to bring a little light to the end of his day when he can sit down and play some games with the crew. So let's get to the parts. So John's wife let me into their house when he was at work one day. So I went in there and grabbed the computer. I needed the GTX 1070 out of it, as well as the SSD and the drives, and that's the reason we have that here today. So we're going to be taking the 1070 out of it, the drives like I mentioned. I have here this EVGA CLC 280 that we won from EVGA. Shout out to Jacob from the EVGA weekly podcast show that they do on YouTube, or that they stream to all sorts of platforms. So the 280 CLC is going into it. The EVGA X299 micro motherboard is going into it. Another thing we also won from that EVGA stream. And then a friend of the channel has donated some parts, namely 32 gigs of DDR4 and an i9-7960X. The 7960X went into the big beast build that we did, the EVGA build, that J2Sense build. They'll be linked down in the description below. That was our previous video on the channel, so make sure you check that out. But what came out of that was an i9-7900X 10-core, 20-thread CPU, and that's what we're going to be using today in this build. And like I mentioned, the drives, 1TB SSD, and then 1TB hard drive and another 1TB hard drive, as well as some sleeve extensions and an RGB strip, of course, as well as some RGB fans that we're going to be using, also from Easy DIY. And finally, the case all this is going to is the Fractal Design Meshify C, and we're going to keep going with the black and white theme with tempered glass. It's the white TG edition of it, so it's going to look fantastic, not too far off from what he's had, and I know this is this kind of style that he likes, so I'm hoping he's going to like this one too. I had poked at him about a few things and trying to figure out what he liked, and this was the case that he ended up telling me that he happened to like a lot. So I'm making sure that he's getting something that he likes. we're here at John's, and we're here a little bit before he's about to get home from work. And I have the computer here in the bag. You know, want to make it a good surprise, so I had to cover it up. But before we get started, I got to clean up his space and make it all nice. So by the time he sees it, he's gonna come home. We're gonna get his reaction, and it's gonna be great. What's on it?
God, it is loud.
Yeah.
Alright, you ready to surprise him?
He's here. He's here. I used to put the lock.
What are you doing in my house?
Hey, what's up, man? I got a surprise for you. Come over here. I'm gonna show it to you.
Who let you in?
Your wife. Now we're walking towards the doorway.
What'd you do?
Let's see.
What is this?
Your new computer.
It's badass, man.
Yeah. Dude, so you're
It's so much smaller. This way.
I told you, it's a little compact case. So the biggest.
It's the actual case that's supposed to go with that motherboard.
Well, no, actually, this still fits a full ATX. It's just a compact system, but that fits full-size stuff. So yeah, it could still got smaller, but this is a fantastic case for airflow. Full mesh in the front. You went from a 4-core processor that struggled with streaming now to 10 cores. So that's a huge jump in terms of processing power. So all the streaming that you might want to do, you will not struggle at all anymore with this setup. 32 gigs of RAM. This is your 1070, which is fantastic for this system. And there you go, all RGB'd out. You got a water cooler on the CPU to keep it nice and chilly.
I like it. It's nice and clean with the big window still. And this is a cool front. Cooled now?
Yeah.
What is just CPU?
CPU, just like your previous one, but with a bigger radiator now. So
That's a big ass radiator.
Yeah, it'll do a lot better.
I have to actually clean it out.
You gotta dust it. And you see how the tubes come from the bottom of the radiator now? That's actually like the proper way for an AIO to be, because
it never gets an air bubble.
Exactly.
Is the RGB strip?
It's all. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about that. The RGB strip is routed to your reset button. You don't need to worry about controls now. Just press the reset button.
What do you mean?
Push the reset button.
So change colors?
Yeah.
I don't have to have these?
Nope.
So these never die?
Right.
My computer's always kind of a combination of new and old stuff, and I never normally upgrade it all at the same time. So Chris always takes care of me, and you guys always make sure that I'm up to date, but it's normally me buying one piece here, one piece there, and then I end up getting a couple hand-me-down parts from other systems. So it's always good enough to game, but not good enough to pull off gaming and streaming at the same time. And so now hopefully with this new setup I can stream in high quality, and that's a big deal to me. I always like gaming, but I like gaming at the highest resolution and things looking the nicest.
Yeah. And this thing's just going to be able to run through all that stuff. I know how you're playing around with SnapCam and all sorts of other stuff, and that was CPU intensive, that little 4-core was just bogging down with.
Yeah, I gotta have filters, that's the thing, right?
Gotta make it fun, and this CPU won't bog down at all. It's just a diesel truck compared to what you used to have. So in the end, I wanted to do something for, firstly, one of my closest friends, that being you, of course, and also you're a first responder and essential worker, and you deal with some tough stuff, so I would also love to help anybody who does that sort of stuff, and this is the first guy that I know that does that sort of stuff. So there you go, man. I hope you like it, and I hope you're going to use it to its full extent.
Well, I appreciate it. I definitely didn't expect it. And you always look after me in the computer world anyways. So it's definitely going to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I appreciate it.
Enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and that like button if you like this video. And if you like this sort of build video, we have more linked right over here, as well as stream tips, tutorials, build videos, and all sorts of reviews and things. Make sure to check out one of those, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Alright, so John said that we can keep his old computer, and I have an idea what to do with this. Probably going to give it away. Leave a comment down below if you want to win this computer.